How do you not freak out? You are up against multiple offers. You have discovered this, and you may have a sense of panic. You want the thing. What do you do to get the thing? First of all, take a breath. Center yourself and accept the fact that it might not work this time. If you're going up against a bunch of other buyers, this might just not work, because you cannot control what all those other people are going to do. What you have to do is write the very best, highest, strongest, cleanest, most gorgeous offer for that seller that you personally are comfortable with. How do you do that? Number one, set price aside for a minute. There's a whole other section of the conversation. You've got the terms. What are the terms of the contract? What are the other factors surrounding what you are choosing to offer them as far as how this is going to get done? When are you going to close? What does the seller want? Do they want to close fast? If they want to close fast and you're going to drag your feet and not close for a couple of months, it doesn't matter what price you offer them. You're not competitive on the terms they need. So look at time. If the seller needs time and you're in a position to give it to them, do it. If the seller wants it done fast and you're in a position to do that, do that. Other terms. How many inspections are you going to have? How much due diligence are you going to have? They call this different things in different places. In real estate, and the way the contract works is very specific, state by state. Talk to your agent. I am not your agent, unless I am. Talk to your agent about how the contract works in your state, what the normal time frames for things are, and how you can tweak those things to be more attractive to the seller. In Virginia, we've got two different styles of home inspection. One is traditional, where you do your inspection, and then it's expected that you can negotiate with the seller about what you find there. So you can ask them to repair things, you can ask them to give you money to repair things, and they can choose not to, right? They can say take it or leave it. You can then also choose to walk away from the purchase if you don't like that. We also have what's called a void-only contingency in Virginia, which is thumbs up, thumbs down. You're allowed to do your home inspection, but the expectation is very clear in the contract that you're not going to ask them for anything. It's a way to convey to the seller that you just want to know what you're buying. And in my mind, that's a really reasonable thing to want. And I understand why sellers don't necessarily want you to do your home inspection. Could muddy the water, could change things. But as a buyer representative, when I am representing buyers, I have a hard time as an agent saying, don't ask for a home inspection. This is a big deal. Buying a home is one of the most important financial decisions most Americans make. You need to know what you're buying. And I think that that's a reasonable thing to want. There are going to be circumstances in an environment like this, in a marketplace like this, where you don't get to have that. Where if you are asking for a home inspection at all, if some other buyer is bringing all the same terms that you are, same price and everything, and they're willing to just not have one, they're probably going to win. That is setting them up for potential failure. It is not something that a lot of my clients are interested in doing, frankly. And I'm on board with that. Your realtor should always support your choices. Your realtor is there to help you understand what your choices are, so that when you're faced with a decision point, you can see what those different paths are pretty clearly and the likely outcomes of them. In a hot market like this, with tons of multiple offers, whether or not you're going to have a home inspection is a question you need to ask yourself. And not having one it is a high level of risk, and different people, if the pandemic has taught us nothing, people have different levels of risk tolerance, and that's something you need to know about yourself. All right, you've put that aside. Other little things in the contract: time needs to be what they want. Sweeten the deal on inspections. Make it very clear that you're not trying to come at them for anything. You just want to be able to understand what you're purchasing. What other vendors does the seller like, or their agent like? If your state has a title company, what title company do they prefer? Are there little things you can do to just make life better for the sellers? Would they like to stay in the property after they sell it to you? Especially in a marketplace like this, where people want to sell, but they have a hard time because they also need to buy somewhere to live, which, as we are discussing, is hard. If you can offer the sellers more time to get that straightened out, if you can offer them the option to kick you out of the contract if they don't find a home to go buy, Might put you in a position where you don't get to buy the house, but at least you get to win the deal, right? In a situation like that. There's a lot of talk in the industry right now about love letters from buyers, where you may have heard about this, where the buyer says, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is who we are, this is why we love the home, we're so grateful for the opportunity to purchase your home, and please pick us. There are a lot of fair housing concerns about that, because in so doing, you are probably revealing to the seller that you are a member of a protected class, be it race, if ethnicity, religion, family status, sexual orientation, like all of those different things are protected classes. And to let a seller know one of those factors about you, if they then don't pick you, could they be open to liability in regards to discrimination? It's a pretty thorny topic, and more jurisdictions are advising against love letters for that reason. So depends on what's normal in your marketplace. The way I handle it here in Northern Virginia is I like to ask the seller if they want it, and then respect their wishes.